We bring you the latest edition of MBC News with me, Kumbukani Piri, and my sign language interpreter tonight is Towson Kamalata. Our top stories. President Mutharika and First Lady Madam Gertrude Mutharika joined Christians and Muslims across the country and around the world in observing the Lenten season and the holy month of Ramadan. Minister of Finance gives assurance that Malawi's economy is on the right path to recovery. And Gambian Speaker of Parliament calls for African countries to speak with one voice in addressing issues that affect the continent. Well, I'm glad you could join us. His Excellency Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika and First Lady Madam Professor Gertrude Mutharika have joined millions of Christians in the country and around the world in observing the start of the Lenten season. Their Excellencies have said that this sacred period of 40 days is a time of profound reflection, inviting the faithful to walk in the footsteps of Christ through prayer, fasting and almsgiving. President Mutharika and Madam Professor Gertrude Mutharika have further reminded Christians that as they begin the journey, they should remember the power of humility and the importance of turning their hearts toward their neighbors in need. The President and the First Lady have therefore wished Christian brothers and sisters a holy and transformative Lent. May these days of introspection bring Christians closer to faith and prepare their hearts for the hope and joy of Easter. And President Mutharika and First Lady Professor Gertrude Mutharika have also extended heartfelt wishes to Muslims across the nation as they begin the holy month of Ramadan. Their Excellencies said the month of Ramadan is a time to strengthen faith, deepen compassion, and renew commitment to peace and unity. They said Ramadan reminds us of the values of sacrifice, generosity, and solidarity. It also is a call to join hands as one people, regardless of their background, to build our nation, Malawi, on the foundations of harmony, resilience, and shared progress. The first couple further stated that may this blessed month bring spiritual fulfillment, strengthen bonds of community, and inspire us all to work together for a bright future. President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika says he's deeply concerned that certain health personnel in public health facilities have been soliciting payments from patients as a condition of providing medical services. Professor Mutharika has stated this in the Executive Order No. 1 of 2026. The President is extremely concerned that other health personnel have been referring patients to their private clinics in order to access better medical treatment, and any person found engaging in such malpractice shall be summarily dismissed from service and subjected to prosecution under the laws of Malawi. The President has further issued a restriction on private health interests, which says that no person employed by a public hospital or health facility shall own, operate or hold shares in a private health clinic or pharmacy. The President has ordered that any employee currently holding such ownership or shares must divest within 30 days from the date of this executive order. For failure to comply shall result in dismissal and further legal action as appropriate. Meanwhile, health experts and members of the public have welcomed President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika's executive order issued yesterday prohibiting the solicitation of payments from patients in public hospitals and barring public health officials from owning private clinics or pharmacies. Emmanuel Chikonso reports.
There has been a growing positive reaction across the country following Tuesday's executive order by President Mutharika directing government hospital employees to stop soliciting payments from patients as a condition for accessing medical services. In the order, the Malawi leader emphasized that public health care is free and warned that any officer found demanding payments will be dismissed and prosecuted. The directive has been described as a bold step towards restoring integrity in the public health system. For many Malawians, the move comes as a relief. Miriam Moffat from Chigwiri in Lilongwe says she was forced to seek alternative treatment after failing to access medication for anemic challenge and Francida at the public facility.
I have welcomed this decision by the President. When we are visiting public hospitals, it simply means we cannot afford the private healthcare. So when they tell us to go and buy medication in pharmacies, it's an insult to us.
Many citizens said the decision is a lifeline for the poor who depend on public hospitals because they cannot afford private care.
I have encountered this. As you know, I am pregnant. I didn't get the proper medication just because the medication were not available, even Fansida. As for now, I'm using Chidede as an alternative to the medication they asked me to buy in pharmacies. I am even using avocado pear leaves just to eliminate the anemic challenge.
Those of us that are in poverty, we are very happy with the President's executive order. He has made us access the health care easily.
What the President has done will bring sanity in hospitals. Now it will be clear for those seeking private health care who go to the private hospitals. The public hospitals will directly be assisted for free. We will not stress much when going to public hospitals, as we will not be thinking of payments anymore.
Visiting public hospitals could be stressful sometimes when we are sick, thinking of funds needed for the treatment. But now with the President's order, this is a relief.
The Chief Executive Officer of the Medical Council of Malawi, Davis Olowere, says the directive aligns with the Council's mandate to promote accountability and transparency. He says the Council will issue a formal position after its board meeting this week. Under the executive order, any public health official who violates the directive and undermines citizens' right to free health care will face disciplinary and legal action. Commenting on the development, health expert Maziko Matemba has welcomed the directive, describing it as a wake-up call. However, he has called for a task force to ensure effective implementation in public hospitals.
For us as advocates fighting for patients' rights, we believe this is a wake-up move. It's commendable because people have been complaining inside and out. They're still paying money behind the scene, and those resources are not going to the system. Sometimes even they pay, they'll not even get the service. So I believe that one has to be corrected, and this is the executive order will try to correct some of those issues.
The executive director of the Malawi Health Equity Network, Mehin, George Jobe, has described the order as progressive but cautioned that its success will depend on strict enforcement. He says previous reforms failed due to weak oversight and interference and has called for vigilance, proper grievance reporting channels and protection for whistleblowers.
There is need to put in place means of reporting by the general public and also protection of whistleblowers, including healthcare workers who blow the whistle. At the same time, we'll be interested as the public to know who has been punished.
For many Malawians, the move represents renewed hope for a fair and dignified public health system. Emmanuel Chikonso, MBC News, Lilongwe.
President of the Northern Region Interfaith Association, Bishop Silent Ntambo, has described the State of the Nation address delivered by President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika as a people-centered sona reflecting the needs and concerns of ordinary Malawians. George Mkandawire reports.
According to Bishop Ntambo, the address highlighted key socio-economic challenges affecting citizens, including food security, infrastructure development, and economic recovery. He added that the interfaith grouping was encouraged by the President's focus on development priorities that directly touch communities.
He talked about boosting the economy and development roadmap, whereby he mentioned about that 5 billion constituency development fund. On education, he mentioned about the free secondary school in all public schools. He also mentioned about revamping the project of Mbombela University.
Bishop Silent Ntambo, the Northern Region Interfaith Association, further held the President for considering Mzuzu Central Hospital to start offering dialysis services. Meanwhile, Bishop Mtambo has commended the president for ordering that all health workers in the country should not operate private clinics, among others.
Many times, in many circumstances, these people do compromise their work. They put much efforts on his own or her own private hospital than the public hospital. And we have poor Malawians. We are reading people in our churches who have nothing, completely nothing. They are poor people, whereby if they go to the hospital without anything and somebody has something, probably a physician, a doctor will attend to this person who has something than this one who doesn't have something.
President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika delivered the State of the National Address with a call to all Malawians to work hard for the betterment of the country. George Nkandawire, MBC, Mzuzu.
And development experts have hailed President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika for his maiden State of the Nation address since his re-election into power in September last year. In the SONA, President Mutharika highlighted a number of issues which the development experts describe as a direct solution to social economic ills which have been bothering Malawi for the past 5 years. Tamvani has compiled this report.
One of the development experts, a development communication lecturer at Malawi University of Business and Applied Sciences, Andrew Kaponya, has told MBC that Mutharika delivered a SONA which resonates with the situation Malawians have been passing through. He said Malawi has already started benefiting from the sound policies of President Mutharika.
The State of the Nation address has given Malawians hope. It has given a new lease of life to the economic and social landscape of this country. In fact, for a long time, Malawians have looked for a leadership that takes issues head on and seen to address them both in the short term, medium term, and long term. There are so many things that we can say that comes out from this SONA. But overall, I commend the state president that he has demonstrated that he is very serious about addressing issues that have affected Malawians for the past 5 years. So congratulations to the state president, congratulations to the ruling government.
Another development expert, Patrick Achitabwino, said economic and financial management measures spelled out in the SONA have resuscitated the economic life of Malawi, which was on its deathbed.
Apparently, I think in all fairness, His Excellency the President was very fair in as much as putting things in the appropriate context from where we're coming from and how is the situation on the ground at present, and also showcasing his dreams and probably where his government would want to take the development paradigm of the country. So we should actually be happy that he has been too quick, or rather too fast, to implement measures which may be in a position now to revitalize the economy, which had actually been going in the wrong direction. So in normal sense, in a nutshell, we should be in a position to say the president has highlighted and has actually showcased the direction in which the government, the country is going, all things being equal.
Both Kaponya and Achitabwino have also spoken highly of President Mutharika's commitment to raise the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, to 5 billion kwacha, saying it brings out the true meaning of decentralization. Tamvani, MBC News, Blantyre.
You're watching MBC News, a reminder of our top stories. President Mutharika and First Lady Madam Gertrude Mutharika joined Christians and Muslims across the country and around the world in observing the Lenten season and the holy month of Ramadan. Minister of Finance gives assurance that Malawi's economy is on the right path to recovery. And Gambian Speaker of Parliament calls for African countries to speak with one voice in addressing issues that affect the continent.
What's your name? Gary, huh? It's my game.
We put everything into this.
Those that can do it and succeed,
how to fix it.
This city
has been just a cookbook. It's part of
being hit here
with the latest global news and insightful documentary.
Transition.
Understanding the
But if you ask them know me. I know they blow trees, only know me.
Welcome back to MBC News. Minister of Finance, Economic Planning and Decentralization, Joseph Mwanamveka, has given an assurance that Malawi's economy is on the right path to recovery. In an interview, Mwanamveka said the economic indicators are stability of the exchange rate, a reduction of inflation, as well as reduction of interest rates. He speaks to Modzi.
Actually, it's coming and the economy is stabilizing. I think so. It's not even about stress, because if you ask each and everybody in the village, he will tell you that he can see what is happening. You can see all the macroeconomic fundamentals. They are all stabilizing, starting with even the exchange rate itself. Because when we were coming to government, it was 4,800. But I'll speak today, I can assure it's about 35 or thereabouts. So it's coming closer to the official rate. Secondly, you have seen inflation is coming down, and it will come down. I want to assure you it will come down. So I want to assure you that this economy is in good hands. Our president, Professor Tamvani, knows exactly what to do. He knows that he needs to address this economy. What we're going to do going forward, I will say this broadly because I don't want to discuss the budget. I want to say that, one, our priority is to cut expenditure. Two, we want to make sure that the revenues grow. And by doing so, we are going to narrow the deficit. We need to make sure that we slow down on the imports of those commodities, and make sure that our companies here is to be able to produce. So you also see in the budget trying to promote import substitution.
Parliament adjourned early on Thursday after experiencing a power outage when parliamentarians reconvened for the afternoon session. When Speaker of the House, Samir Suleiman, called for order amidst the blackout, there was uncontrollable noise which prompted him to rule for an early adjournment until Friday. The development arose when the House was in a heated debate on whether to retable the constitutional amendment bill on CDF or not. We have a joint report by Patrick Dambula and Austin Fukula.
You followed what happened. Maybe share with us what happened, what transpired at Parliament on Thursday.
Yeah, earlier in the morning, there was the visiting Speaker of Gambia and his delegation, who came into the House to appreciate the operation of the House. And later, then there was an issue, Thursday being private members' day. It meant some members could bring in issues that they wanted to discuss, and then MP for Nzimba South, that's Emmanuel Jere, who came into the House and wanted the House to table the issue of CDF. You remember there was this constitutional amendment bill which the President of the Republic withheld assent, and he said that they should develop guidelines that will also guide this particular law or bill before it comes into a law. So at that particular time, it was that particular moment when there was now a heated debate, because from the communication from the leader of the House, he said the committee, the business committee, had agreed that they will not table this particular bill into the House. They will not retable it. They will just invite the Minister of Local Government and the Minister of Finance, who will be responsible to develop the guidelines as per recommendation from the State President. So after that kind of reaction, the opposition were not happy. So what happened thereafter was that people could not agree until they had to go into voting. And they ended up agreeing to say, let's change the order paper. And indeed, they managed to do that. But later, there was power blackout. And that led to an early adjournment. And this also happened later in the afternoon as well. When they met, there was no electricity. And indeed, this is what led to the early adjournment, which the Speaker of the House suspended it to Friday morning.
Gambian Speaker of Parliament Fabakary Tombong Jatta has called for African countries to speak with one voice in addressing issues that affect the continent. Tombong, who is in the country, said this in Parliament when he led a business committee of Gambia National Assembly. Details in this report.
Addressing the Malawi Parliament, the Speaker of Gambia says Africa is one. As such, there is need to deal with issues such as climate change with one voice. He says African challenges must be solved using African solutions. The visiting speaker hailed Malawi's cordial welcome, which he said signifies that the country is really the warm heart of Africa. He therefore said the visit accorded his delegation an opportunity to appreciate reforms Malawi Parliament has undertaken as a means of fostering good governance and defending the Constitution for the benefit of its people it represents. In his reaction, Speaker of Malawi Parliament, Samia Suleiman, says the House will strengthen cordial working relationship through sharing best practices and fostering oneness for the benefit of the two nations. This was the first learning visit for Gambian Speaker and Business Committee to Malawi Parliament. Austin Fugula, NBC News, Parliament.
Government says it remains steadfast to ensuring that all children in the country, especially girls, are in school, and that it will soon crack down on child marriages, which are still rampant in some parts of the country. Minister of Gender, Children, Disability and Social Welfare, Mary Navicha, made the remarks when she commissioned a girls' academy, courtesy of a Turkish organization, Dreams of Children Family, DCF, which is offering free primary education in Zomba Malosa constituency. Charles Chindongo has compiled a report read by Ruth Jinangwa.
Speaking in an interview with MBC, Navicha acknowledged that more children continue to drop out of school and some are sliding into child marriage across the country, a situation which she said is negatively affecting development efforts. The minister also pledged to support efforts aimed at addressing the status quo to return more children in school.
Shortly, we'll invite some NGOs to start awareness campaigns, sensitizing people. People should be able to know the importance of education. So these NGOs would be flocked here. We are ready to hit the ground running. So be assured the government is working closely with other donors, other NGOs, and even the Ministry of Education. We are working together to ensure that we have a zero rate on dropout.
While commending the Turkish Organization for the Development, parliamentarian for the area, Grace Kwerebeta, underscored the importance of concerted efforts to retain girls in schools.
There we had about 195 girls that dropped out from school, and by having this facility in my constituency and with the agenda, I'm very sure that things will change because it's very worrisome to have 195 girls in a year dropping out from school. So if they'll be kept here, it means at least they'll be protected from so many things.
Traditional Authority Malemia assured stakeholders that he will get to the bottom of the issue to curb the vice. Founder and director of Dreams of Children Family, Mahmad Ensali, hopes that the newly commissioned facility in Zomba will, among others, improve education outcomes among girls in the area of Traditional Authorities Malemia, Kontumanji, and Nkagula.
Yes, education is, the key of everything, and you can see today in Europe whatever and everything is going through the education. Once the education is high, and everything will be changing. No one can come to cheat us, but there is no education, they can cheat us.
The facility, which is located at Nkhani in Zomba district, will benefit at least 40 girls in its pilot phase. DCF offers formal and informal education to vulnerable communities in the district.
And that's it. And now a recap of our top stories before we leave. President Mutharika and First Lady Madam Gertrude Mutharika joined Christians and Muslims across the country and around the world in observing the Lenten season and the holy month of Ramadan. Minister of Finance gives assurance that Malawi's economy is on the right path to recovery. And Gambian Speaker of Parliament calls for African countries to speak with one voice in addressing issues that affect the continent. Keep up to date with our news coverage on our digital platforms by scanning the QR code at the top right corner of your TV screen. You were with me, Kumbukani Piri, and my sign language interpreter tonight was Tauson Kamalata. Thanks for watching and goodbye for now.
Good evening, and it's time for weather forecast. Isolated thunderstorms and rains were experienced over the country in a period of 24 hours and were recorded and reported this morning at 8, with Chileka in Blantyre reporting the highest at 32 mm, followed by Mwazisi in Mzimba and Mwamkumbwa at 18 mm. We are currently still expecting isolated thunderstorms and rains, which will be heavy in some areas.